The Alabama Crimson Tide snaps the Georgia Bulldogs' 33-game winning streak in Sanford Stadium Saturday night by defeating the Georgia Bulldogs by the score of 24-21. Welcome to another sports edition of the Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel sports show. My friends, sit back, relax, and let's talk some college football. Now, already all of my Alabama friends out there have already let me know that I was totally off on this prediction. I had Georgia winning this game, and I stated why I thought Georgia was going to win this game. But my friends, what a typical SEC battle between two heavyweights going at it. Alabama improves now to 3-1 on the season, and Georgia also 3-1 on the year. But my friends, when you look at this, bottom line, Coach Kirby Smart, a phenomenal college football coach for the Georgia Bulldogs. But my friends, he just cannot find a way to beat Alabama. His career record now versus the Crimson Tide, a dismal 1 win and 7 losses. Wow. My friends, Alabama took no time wasted no time jumping on the Bulldogs early in this game. Before you could even go and warm up a bag of popcorn, the score was 14-0 right out of the gate. And I think at this point, a lot of people thought, that this game was done for. Not me, okay? I knew that Georgia would come back, make a run of it, just like they did in the Tennessee game. The difference was that Tennessee game, Georgia came back and won that game. Unfortunately, at halftime, they went into the locker room. Bama was up 24-14. Now, as a spectator, I'm just watching both of these two teams. Like I said, two heavyweights exchanging blow for blow. And I thought that Georgia would have came out in the second half and played much better. Now, defensively, Georgia really stepped their game up in the second half. Defensively, in the first half, they gave up 24 points to a Bama team in the first half. That was not good. Second half, Georgia was only able to score a touchdown to cut the lead to 24-21. But my friends, as I'm watching this game, so many opportunities that Georgia had, especially in the fourth quarter, that really could have turned this game around, and Georgia really could have ended up winning this game. And I'm going to tell you a few spots that I noticed that Georgia just plain and simple blew it. Okay, that one, that Gunnar Stockton had a picture-perfect pass to the freshman. I think his number was 11. That either would have been a touchdown strike or it would have been 1st and goal at the 5. And number 11, the true freshman for Georgia, plain and simple dropped it. Plain and simple. You couldn't have asked Gunnar to throw a more perfect football, okay? And bottom line, the true freshman, whether nerves or he just took his eye off the ball, went right through his hands, that was costly. Another costly error was 4th and inches. And instead of giving it, my opinion, to Bowens, who's been running lights out on Alabama the whole night, they decided to get too cute and give it to Cash Jones around the right side. And what happened was Cash Jones got tripped up, and instead of picking up the first down, he ended up losing 2 yards on the play, and that was a turnover on downs back to Alabama, and all the momentum went right back to the Crimson Tide. Too many mental errors on the part of Georgia on the defensive side of the ball, okay? Way too many costly penalties, unsportsmanlike penalties. And, bottom line, if you're Georgia and Coach Kirby Smart, you're shaking your head because Georgia easily could have won this football game, okay? And like I said, a few of the plays did not go their way. That's part of football. My friends, with that big, strong O-line, and you just cannot pick up a crucial first down, which would have kept the drive alive, that was costly. It really was. Alabama outgained Georgia. Alabama total offense 397 to Georgia's 355. But the rushing attack, which I knew favored the Georgia Bulldogs. 225 on the ground for Georgia. Alabama only 117. You look at these two quarterbacks. They're both a little different in their style. Ty Simpson, 24 out of 38, 276 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns. Once again, no turnovers for Ty Simpson. You look at Simpson, this young man played a very good game. He was a big instrumental part of Alabama defeating the Dawgs 24-21. Like I mentioned, he threw 2 touchdown passes, all in the first half, but nonetheless, all of the confidence and momentum was swinging Alabama's way big time. Gunnar Stockton, on the other hand, a very modest 13 out of 20 for only 130 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. But like I said, my friends, that I think it was something like a 40 or 45-yard bomb to the true freshman, number 11, and the ball just plain and simple, he just dropped it. Case closed. No excuse, just dropped it. And, that would have turned the tide, no pun intended, big time for Georgia. Georgia would have either punched it in from 5 yards out, or the guy would have caught the ball, the true freshman, and taken it in. What happened? Georgia ended up having to punt on that series, which definitely didn't help. Another very costly, unsportsmanlike conduct where Alabama would have had to end up punting the football away. Not the case. They ended up getting Georgia on an unsportsmanlike conduct. Numerous penalties from the secondary. I know Everett had 2 costly penalties and a few missed tackles. Bottom line, my friends, when you're in a game like this, okay, against 2 SEC foes battling it out, something like this is going to come down to one play or two. Now, offensively, Bowens, 11 carries, 117 yards. This young man kept his Dogs in the team the entire game, and 1 rushing touchdown. Miller, on the other hand, bottom line, Miller had a decent first half. Second half did not do much of anything. Miller, 16 carries for only 46 yards. So I like the way the defense for Georgia bottled up the rushing attack. Like I said, Alabama could only muster 117 yards on the ground to Georgia's 225. But bottom line, my friends, the outcome is who has the higher score at the end of the game. And it was not Georgia. Alabama snaps the Dogs' 33-game home winning streak in Sanford Stadium. And once again, Coach Kirby Smart falls to only 1-7 versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. Not good if you're Coach Kirby Smart. Not at all. I thought Coach Bobo did a decent job once again. He wants to establish the running game. He did just that. Okay? I thought Frazier ran well. Okay? I thought Bowens did very well. They tried to get Gunnar Stockton out in the open rushing the football, but I'm just going to say this, Bama's defense was just too tough, okay, when it came to trying to stifle Gunnar Stockton's running ability. There were times that it looked like Gunnar was going to run for a first down, but Alabama was able to get him out of bounds before the first down marker. So, bottom line, my friends, Bama made the plays they needed to. Unfortunately, Georgia did not. Anytime you have the ball 4th and inches and you wanted to get fancy and cute with Cash Jones going around the right side. I did not understand that. If you wanted to put Cash Jones in for a decoy play, that would have been one thing. But to actually give him the ball when Bowens was running wild over Alabama, I did not understand that play call at all. I truly didn't. Cash Jones is not a big guy. He's a quick little speedster back. But bottom line, Alabama's defense totally sniffed that play out and was able to knock the feet out from under Cash Jones. And Cash Jones couldn't regain his balance, lost 2 yards, and it was turnover on downs, and all the momentum swung to Alabama. I'm just going to say this. They get the first down, they get a touchdown in that game. That first down would have been something like 1st and goal from the 4 or 5. Bottom line, they couldn't punch it in. And that was a very key turning point for me in that game, that they couldn't get the first down. And like I said, I didn't understand Coach Mike Bobo's play calling on that specific play. I thought he did a good job trying to establish the running attack, which he did with Frazier's and Bowens. But my friends, other than that, you got to give credit where credit's due. And like I said, I can admit when I'm wrong. Somebody commented that I'm Jimmy the Greek. Well, how about call me Vinny the Italian, because I'm not Greek, I'm Italian. But nonetheless, my friends, to all my Alabama faithful out there and friends, thank you for letting me know that I lost this game, which is fine with me. My record so far this season in college football is 3-1. But, my friends, bottom line, you can't pick them all. And, you got to give credit where credit's due. Alabama came into a very hostile environment in Sanford Stadium with Georgia Bulldogs on a 33-game win streak. And for Alabama to come out victorious in this game says a lot for Alabama football program and Kalen DeBoer. My friends, if you are new to my channel, please smash that subscribe button. If you like this video, which I hope you all do, please click on the like button. Like always, please check out Super Thanks. And not only do I love to read your comments, but I love to respond to every comment that I do read. But the only way I could do that is if you comment down below. Like always, my friends, peace out. God bless you all. Keep the faith. Click on this face right up here to subscribe. And until next time, what a barn burner it was. Alabama defeating the Georgia Dogs and snapping the Dogs' 33-game home winning streak by the score of 24-21. Buckeye Vinny's out of here.